Hi everyone, this is Surbhi from Theascape, and I welcome you all to yet another um, Women Empower Women series. Today we'll be going live with Dipti Nayak, who's a certified yoga instructor, and we will be talking to her on the subject Yoga, a Way of Life for Women. Hi Divya. So I'm just waiting for Dipti to come online and then we'll start the conversation. One second, I'm just pinging her. She'll just be live. So Dipti, just ping me when you're here so I can add you to the chat, because I can't see you like this. Hi mom, thank you for joining. So just waiting. Dipti. One second guys. Dipti, if you're there, just scroll down a little. Hi Ajit. Please ask Dipti to scroll down the screen a little. She'll be able to see me. Hi Ria. Thank you for joining. Divya, since you're watching this, can you please unpin our poster? Yeah, so Dipti is here. I'm just taking her, helping her join.
Hi Survi.
Yeah, sorry, there was a little glitch.
Hi.
So how are
Hello
you?
everyone.
Yeah, so guys, as I was just telling you all, Deepti is a certified yoga trainer with an experience of over 2 years in training adults, senior citizens, and kids. And her sessions are mostly focused towards the positive health and mindset of her patients, participants, sorry. And she also specializes in corporate yoga. And prior to yoga, she's been in the IT industry for over 8 years, and she likes to bake, and she's also a food blogger.
Yeah,
So
that's nice.
those are the passions. So Dipti, why don't you share a little bit more about yourself and also about the topic that we will be covering today with everyone.
Sure, Surbi. First of all, thank you. A big thank you to everyone at Thea for giving me this opportunity to
Our
speak
pleasure.
about
Our pleasure.
a topic that is so close to my heart. That's yoga. And you
Yeah.
have given a beautiful introduction to me, wherein you have covered my career before yoga, where I was an IT professional earlier.
Yes.
And something yoga has always fascinated me from my childhood, and uh, somehow I got an opportunity to get started with my yoga journey, and I got certified, and I'm enjoying it. Coming to today's topic, I would like to ask you, first, what is
Yeah.
it that comes to your mind when I say the word yoga? What do you think yoga is? I would like to
Yeah.
get this answer from you.
So, as a participant in your sessions, I would like to say that of course it is a form of exercise, but then it's also a lot to do about balancing your mind and your body. It's not just like a physical workout for your body. It also really helps balancing the mind along with it. So, I mean, that for me is what it is.
Yes,
But
yes. I mean,
you
I'm
may
so
be
happy that I'm getting such an answer from you because, I have taught you the right way. You've got the
Yes, you
view
are a
about
good
yoga.
teacher.
Would like to just add some more points to it as to,
Hmm.
most of us, in fact, even me, I used to feel yoga is something about just twisting your body in different forms and, exercise form at
Hmm.
only at the physical level. But only when I started learning, I realized that it is not just about the asanas or the physical postures. Of course, that is important, but it is much more
Yes.
than that. It is something that works in your mind. It is something that changes your perspective, and
Hmm.
it beautifully gives you a positive attitude. And I would like to say, yoga is not something that you do only on your mat. It is your mat as well. It is a way of life. It's a beautiful science which
Hmm.
helps you to integrate your mind, body, and soul. That's what is
Yeah.
yoga for me.
Yeah.
So
So it's
if
not
I have
just
to,
an exercise form. Hmm. Yeah. Please go
yes,
ahead. Yeah.
yes, correct. It's not just an exercise form actually. Yoga is a vast
Hmm.
science. It started in India. It is a 5,000 years old science, and
Hmm.
it works not only on the physical aspects. There are four pillars for yoga,
Hmm.
which is called as
Hmm.
ahara, vihara, achara, vichara. So I would like to
Yeah.
elaborate a bit on this. When
Hmm.
we say ahara, yogic science also talks about you have to consider what goes into your body, your ahara. Your food is also
Har.
a part
Hmm.
of yoga.
Hmm.
It's like
Yeah.
your food is something that is going to nourish your body, so it is equally important. Then
Absolutely. Hmm.
vihara is the activities that you get involved yourself into, like exercises or your work, how you go
Hmm.
about it. That is also
Hmm.
equally important. Then
Hmm.
achara is your conduct with other people, as to how you're meeting other people, how is your attitude towards new people,
Hmm.
or for that
Hmm.
matter your family members. That is also equally important. And last is vichara, that is the thought process.
Hmm.
It is also very important to have a positive attitude and a right mindset. So
Hmm.
these
Yeah.
four aspects, that is ahara,
Hmm.
vihara, achara, vichara, is in a way defining what yoga is.
Hmm.
It's not only about the physical aspect. It also works about the holistic persona of a person, wherein
Yeah.
apart from developing a healthy body, you also focus on developing a healthy mind as well.
Mind.
And
Yeah.
that is also equally important. So
And
that is
yeah,
what I would
so
like to
like,
say.
so when we are saying about talking about the food and the vichar and everything, then it not just becomes like that 1 hour or 2 hours of exercising in a day. It,
Yes,
follows
that's
through the
why I said
entire
it is
day,
a way of life.
way
It
of
is not
life.
just 1 hour
Exactly.
session, or just
Yes.
limited to a yoga session or what you're doing on the mat. It is a way
Yes.
of life, because you
Right.
have to. I mean, all these aspects, all these four aspects, actually, if you look at
Mm.
it, defines a beautiful life. If you do
Mm.
everything in moderation, it is going to give you a beautiful life and a beautiful experience as well. In fact,
Mm.
the word yoga itself is derived from a word called as yuj, which says to unite. The word itself defines that you're trying to unite the body and the mind, body and the soul. So that's how
Mm.
yoga is. Uh,
Yes.
and coming to today's topic,
Mm.
yes, yoga is definitely important for everybody.
Mm.
It is not gender specific or gender biased, but yoga is to be practiced by everybody for a healthy body and mind. And
Mm.
speaking specifically about, woman goes through different phases of her life. Starting from
Mm.
childhood, puberty, adolescence, then comes the pregnancy phase, then the menopausal phase.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
be irrespective of which stage she is in, yoga is going to
Mm.
be beneficial in every way. That
Yes.
that is
Yes.
that is how it. That is why I said yoga is a way of life for women, That doesn't mean
Yeah.
that it is not meant for men. Men should also do, but
No,
in
but we are just
today's,
focusing
yeah,
on
we are
women
focusing
today
on
for
women's health.
today's
Yes,
topic. Yes,
yes,
yes, just today.
that's
So, I just a minute I would take to tell the people who are watching us that if you have any questions and queries about yoga and how you would want to start practicing and incorporating it in your life, then feel free to leave those queries for Dipti here, and she would be happy to answer those. And till then, till we have the audiences throwing up questions, I have a set of questions of my own that I
sure,
would like
sure,
to ask you, Dipti.
sure, Sylvie.
So, Dipti, there's also a lot of thought sometimes about that. Is yoga a religion or just a philosophy or just an ideology? So, also something about that. Is it just? I mean, can we call it a religion or a philosophy? I mean, you've
See,
spoken.
definitely, yoga is definitely not a religion, and it is not a philosophy. As I mentioned, yoga is a science. So
Hmm.
every asana that you do, every breathing practice that you do, is
Hmm.
there's a big science behind
Science.
it. Like if you're bending forward, there is a science which is not only, for example, if you're just trying to touch your toes, bending forward and
Yes.
touch your toes, it
Hmm.
might look like you're working only on the physical level, but it is much beyond that. The mere fact of
Hmm.
leaning forward, leaning and trying to get your head down brings in an attitude of gratitude. It makes you humble. So
Hmm.
there is a link between every posture and how it affects your mind. So
Yes.
definitely yoga is only a science. If everything that we do in yoga, be it the food related thing, the be it the thought process, be it the meditation, everything can link back to science as to how it works.
Yeah. Yeah. So also like a lot of people may think that what is the right time to start yoga? Like can we start it at any point in time or is it a certain age that we start it at?
This is a very good question, actually. So many people think that yoga has to be started young at a young age, but
Yes, yes.
I disagree. I would like to differ here because yoga can be started at any age.
Hmm.
You can say it adapts itself. You can change the yoga. It is so versatile that for younger generations, for youth,
Hmm.
you can make it fast paced, and for older
Hmm.
generations, it can be made restorative and slow paced. So there is
Hmm.
no, I would like to say that there is no age limit. There is no
Yeah.
starting age, and there is no, nothing like you're old enough to have start yoga,
Not right.
something like that.
Yes.
So even a
Yes.
child who is just preparing herself to go to school can start
Hmm.
yoga, and even a seasoned mother, who is trying to prepare herself to become a grandmother can also start yoga. So
Yeah, wow.
that defines the age.
Yeah. So people who don't know this yet, Deepti also conducts yoga for senior citizens and chair yoga for them. So I was,
Yes.
I have attended one or two of those sessions, and one would think, what kind of a yoga would we be able to do on a chair? But you really make people stretch
Yes.
and nicely get
Yes.
a very good exercise through that as well. So, and I've seen senior citizens in the workshop and benefit from those, right?
Yeah,
So,
so what
really,
happens is, I would like to just add here, chair yoga is
mm,
definitely something that we give to senior citizens. That's because,
mm,
we don't want them to sit, at least initially when they join the sessions, I would recommend them to sit on the chair if they have back problems or knee problems.
mm,
And eventually,
mm.
it's been my experience that they prefer to sit down. They're like, Dipti ho gaya, I am more comfortable sitting on the mat now. The
Yeah,
body
yeah,
gets strengthened like that. But
yeah.
you
And
rightly
it
said,
encourages them as well, right? It
yes.
encourages them to kind of build it on them.
Yes, yes. So also, I even take chair yogas for non-senior citizens as well because, as you rightly said, it gives a deeper stretch. So
Stretch, yes.
just doing on a mat gives a different kind of a stretch, and when you're doing
Mm,
something with the aid of a tool, it gives you a
mm,
deeper stretch. So that's how it
mm.
works, and it also
Yeah.
encourages the senior citizens, or I would like to say not senior citizens, ladies in their golden years, to
Yeah.
join the classes.
Yes,
Because those are
yes.
the golden years of our life, I feel, and they should be doing yoga.
Yeah. So, Dipti, is it also like is it a must that when somebody is starting out yoga, they should do it under the practice and supervision of a trainer, or because these days there are so many YouTube videos and starter packages sorts for beginners. So is it recommended that they can start off watching videos as well?
Okay, this because I have started taking online classes because of pandemic. But
Yeah.
I would say if anybody is starting new, right, it is ideal to get started with a instructor, with a proper trainer, experienced trainer, because there
Yes.
has to be a bond between the participant and the trainer. The trainer has to know, the instructor has to know the physical conditions, limitation, or what is it that the participant is trying to achieve.
Yeah.
Having said that, I am not discouraging starting yoga through YouTube videos as well, because there is somebody who would not be having access to yoga classes, or there might be somebody whose timing might not match, or they would not have an online session based on their requirements. In such situations, I would say that they can get started with the online videos, but they should do little research as to what kind of practices they are getting into, and they have to
Yes.
be very cautious, because what I feel is most of the online videos are for a wider audience. A particular, it's like online video will be for everybody, women, child,
Yes.
maybe that age
Yes.
specific or your condition specific things are not taken care of. So if you're starting
Absolutely.
yoga online through YouTube videos, limit it only to gentle exercises and beginners level yoga, and anything after that you want to learn, you should join classes or take help from a experienced teacher.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Good point there. So I can see a few questions here, Deepti, from the
Yes, yes,
participant. So
yes.
Mikhana is asking that a lot of women find it hard to balance work and find time for exercising in daily routines. So how do we incorporate it in our daily lives with ease? So like taking out time, especially in these times, it's really difficult to take out time for yourself to
That
exercise.
is the problem with women. I mean, we
Yes.
keep ourselves as the last priority. Probably, that is how we are. We are mothers, sisters, daughters, and much more. Working women, entrepreneurs, everything.
Yes.
So we tend to juggle between one role to another role, and this me,
Absolutely.
the woman, the very body in which you are living, takes the last priority. And I understand that somebody who is working and works for 12 to 16 hours a day will not have enough time to do yoga. But if they can even do it on the weekend, or maybe only twice a week or thrice a week, that also is going to benefit them. So they have to make that time for themselves at least once or twice a week minimum to start with, and then they themselves would like to build on it, because it will
Yes.
work beautifully. They will feel the change the day a person will do yoga. She will be able, if she does in the morning, preferably in the morning, then she'll be able to focus better. Her performance at work also will improve. So she herself
Yeah.
would want to do more. So what I would like to suggest her, that find time. If not on the weekdays, at least find time, get started on the weekends, and then
Yeah.
you can take it forward.
So this also brings me to the next question, a very pertinent one, is that why should women do yoga? I mean, why yoga
Okay,
for women?
one interesting thing that I can tell to everybody, every woman out here, is if you want
Huh.
to tone your body, have
Huh.
a well-toned body, have a glowing
Yes.
skin, and
Huh.
stop the hair fall problem, do yoga. These are something which can motivate a woman.
Pinpointed the main pain
Yes,
areas.
pinpointing only the cherry, pinpointing only the cherry,
Yeah.
but there are many more things. Like
Yeah.
if I get into the benefits of yoga, I think even 1 hour would not be enough for us. So what I
Yes.
can say is, of course, these three things that I have mentioned are like, something that is going to, it's like a carrot, which is
Starting
going to,
with the top
help
of
you
it.
to, yes,
Yes.
which is going to motivate you to do yoga. But having said that, I will tell you what will not happen if you do yoga. So if
Yeah.
you are practicing yoga, be it a man or a woman, you will be able to deal with your anxiety issues. You'll be able to, or probably you will have less anxiety issues. There will be less stress, And health issues, change of climates, people develop cold. Those things,
Yes.
it might not occur. It will reduce drastically. You will be healthier,
Absolutely.
and of course, there'll be more focus, and we will develop an attitude of responding to a situation rather than reacting. All this happens with the internal awareness that comes with yoga. So
Yes.
this is very much important for a woman, I feel, because she's juggling from one role to another. So that's why I would
Absolutely.
say she should be taking yoga as something as important as eating food.
Yeah.
Should be
So,
considered like that.
so related to the stress bit that you mentioned, we have a question from Navid. He's asking, how can yoga help in de-stress in short forms, which helps us in taking shorter breaks? So I think probably like in work from home situations when you're sitting too much in front of your laptop and work. So in a short break, how can you kind of just de-stress and kind of come back to a more comfortable this thing?
Okay,
So
I will give you a
anything
very
that you
simple
can.
example in connection to what you said. If somebody is sitting on a laptop for a longer
Yes.
time, if they want a break, one is just interlock your fingers and stretch your hands up. Just stretch. It's a simple seated Tadasana stretch. Just
Yeah.
do this, hold this stretch for, say 5 counts or 6 counts with normal breathing, and then release.
Hmm.
You feel the change, the stress that is built up because sitting on a laptop or
Hmm.
sitting at a desk, you feel it releasing from your shoulders and your arms. So
Hmm.
these can be smaller breaks, and of course,
Hmm.
certain exercises of chair yoga are something that are very beneficial for short breaks, like
Hmm.
lifting your legs, and there are many actually chair yoga exercises which are very beneficial. And if somebody doesn't want to even do this and want a much simpler thing, then just close your eyes and inhale. Just deep breathing, deep inhalation and deep exhalation is a very good stress buster.
Yeah. Yeah. So deep breathing and your
No, that
Tadasana
was
in the
that was just an example, a
yeah.
simple example which
Yeah.
everybody
For
can
the
relate
shorter
to.
break.
So
Yeah.
yes, a
Hmm.
small break that you can get
Okay.
from to de-stressing, a quick de-stressor.
Absolutely. Yeah. So moving on, I mean, uh, can we talk a little more about how a woman can, in different points in time and in different age groups,
Yes,
how can they
yes.
benefit from yoga?
Sure, definitely. So I would like to start from, childhood. When a
Hmm.
girl is really small and say about 5 years, I say five because for them to start with something, they have to understand, right? So I would
Yeah.
say 5 years, minimum 5 years. So if we consider that a girl at that age, if she starts yoga, she will
Hmm.
have more, I mean, through the practice, she herself will realize that her posture is corrected, her growth is proper with respect to height, with respect to a healthy body. And the best part is there is lot of there will be a lot of good attention span. They'll be able to focus
Hmm.
better,
Hmm.
and with all
Yes.
these things, you can see that they develop confidence because they're focusing better, they are more
Yeah.
attentive, they are less
Hmm.
impulsive.
Hmm.
So that gives, and also empathy. They are more empathetic. Empathy builds in
Hmm.
with these exercises.
Yes. Yes.
So that is
Yes.
how it works at a really child level. And
Hmm.
if I go on to the next stage, that is the
Hmm.
puberty. So this
Hmm.
is one of the challenging phases of
Absolutely.
young age, because
Yes.
hormones are playing its own role. There are a lot of
Hmm.
physical changes that are happening. So at this
Hmm.
stage, yoga is definitely that is going to help her to deal with the puberty related issues, the hormonal imbalances. Then some girls tend to put on weight
Yes.
during the early puberty ages, puberty times. So that also is taken care through yoga practices. And of course, we are aware of the menstrual cramps and the
Hmm.
problems
Yes.
associated with that. So these
Hmm.
things get managed beautifully through yoga. If somebody is
Hmm.
practicing and or is starting to practice, they themselves will feel the change. That if there are irregular cycles, gradually
Hmm.
they'll see the cycles regularizing. If there is menstrual cramps, they will feel that the menstrual cramps have reduced. Or if somebody is having a lot of menstrual cramps, there are certain asanas which can be done during those days, which is going to help her to release the back pain and the cramps in the abdomen. So this is something very much beneficial in those years, because that is the time when they are either in the high school or in college, wherein studies cannot take a backseat. Education is important. So adding to that, these physical challenges would somehow bring an effect on their esteem, self-esteem. So this is if they practice yoga, be it even once a week or twice a week, these issues get taken care of. Also, weight gain is one of the biggest issue that many face. That's probably because of low metabolism, or maybe because of incorrect food consumption. There are asanas. You must be, aware that Surya Namaskar, such a beautiful sequence of 12 asanas, which are practiced in 10-step or 12-step methods. Simple thing like Surya Namaskar also is very beneficial for young girls because it's going to tone up their body, and as I mentioned, posture correction, concentration, everything.
Also the energy levels. I mean, I feel very energized after doing Surya Namaskar.
That is the beauty of Surya Namaskar. It is a beautiful combination of back bends, forward bends, hip stretches. So the entire body gets worked out. So this is very beneficial. After some time, I would definitely like to show some of the asanas which are beneficial for managing the menstrual cramps and everything. So that will give you a better insight as to what I'm trying to tell. So now we covered the kids, we covered the puberty, and now would be the next stage. That's the pregnancy. Again, it is a very big challenging phase for a woman. So, that is the phase. There's physical changes again happening at a different level, and emotionally, the woman's the emotions are changing. There are mood swings. So of course, here also you need to be, this is where yoga will help you to manage or have a happy pregnancy, is what I would like to say. So yoga when it comes to pregnancy, it will get categorized into two sections, something that you're going to do before, during pregnancy, and something that you will do after pregnancy.
So essentially prenatal and postnatal.
Prenatal and postnatal, correct. So prenatal yoga is something that you do, that a lady does when she's when she's carrying the child. And it is designed in a beautiful way that the fetus is not harmed, but the body is getting prepared for a normal delivery, and the spine is getting strengthened for the extra weight around the abdomen. So that's how it is beneficial for her at a physical level. And prenatal yoga uses lots of props also, like the straps and pillows. So there will be a lot of relaxative postures, restorative postures adopted in prenatal yoga, which help her to calm down and relax as well. So those who prenatal yoga is in some places also called as Lamaze classes. It is similar to prenatal yoga. So those who actually do these classes, they will feel that the mood swings improve. They are happier, and they can the morning sickness gets taken care of. But here again, caution: the prenatal yoga classes should be done only with the recommendation from others. Somebody should definitely not start it after seeing a YouTube video. It has to be done under experience, under some guidance. That's what I would say. Then, as we spoke about postnatal is the time after delivery is very crucial, both for the infant as well as for the mother, because for a mother, it's like, a complete change, full change, and her body is weak, she's emotionally weak. So this is when, pranayama practices and, deep breathing practices will help her. And also postnatal yoga will have certain stretches, which is going to help her in improving the lactation and help her in toning the loosened body. You know, the body loosens up during the process of delivery. So it is going to help her to tone her body also. So probably after 3 to 4 months after delivery, postnatal yoga can be started. And you know what I feel is a happy mother gives a happy infant. You know, so it is just correlated. So with the breathing practices, she herself will have enough relaxation and peace and harmony, and you know that gets passed on to her
Which is
baby.
very important in those days, you know,
because there are
to kind of
sleepless nights.
balance her sleep. Exactly.
Yeah. So you know,
Also,
rest
the
is very
demands
much
of the
important.
child are like there is no timing as to when the child needs you, so you don't have a sort of a life of your own at that point in time, at
Yes,
least. So
yes.
I think yoga
That
would really benefit mothers.
yes. Also, you know, postpartum depression is something, you know, not many women speak about. In fact,
Yes.
many ladies are not aware that, you know, they are going through that. Probably after they have passed the phase is when they realize, oh, I was, you know, undergoing postpartum depression. So with basically pranayama and deep breathing exercises, you know, this postpartum depression can be reduced to a larger extent. So the next phase would be the menopause. So menopause or the premenopausal stages. So this is again, you know, a very difficult phase wherein we see women going through different kinds of issues like thyroid, weight gain, and acidity related issues. So yoga is again beneficial in this stage as well, because it will see the hormonal changes are inevitable. As the body ages, the menopause is bound to happen. And only thing what yoga will do is it will help her to sail through this menopausal phase peacefully, you know, in a better way. It's just going to act like a catalyst, which is going to help her to sail through easily, rather than, you know, dealing with the irregular cycles and hot flashes. If she is practicing yoga, especially, it is going to help her to accept herself, accept the changes that happen, and as well as strengthen her.
Okay.
And as I mentioned, ladies in golden years, they should definitely do yoga, because for them, you know, that is the time when there is knee problem and osteoporosis, all these issues that pop up. So that is again, you know, it all works out to giving a healthy body. So I guess I have covered all.